on to the zoning board of March 24th, 2026. My name is Marty Akins. I'm the chairman. Vice chairman, Mr. Chen. Board members, Mr. Hemmel, Ms. Barry, and Mr. O'Brien. And Mr. Frankel in the back. And we have a new member I'd like to welcome, Stacy LeMay. She's going to be sitting on the board from now on. I have a quick announcement I want to read into the record if I could. From a member of the board. I will find it. Give me 1 second. My fault. Right here. I got this from a past vice chairman. He was a board member because he was busy all the time. He says, Marty, please accept this as my formal resignation. It's been a pleasure serving with you and the board members over the years. All the best, Brian. So Brian is off the board now. We have new members, so everything worked out. And that was a rush to get Mrs. LeMay on, which I'm glad we had a good appointment because sometimes people get sick and they miss meetings. We have a few things we're gonna take care of here, and then we're gonna go into executive sessions if we could. Could I have a motion to waive the minutes of the previous meeting?
Yes, Mr. Chair, move to accept and waive the reading of the minutes for the regularly scheduled meeting of March 10, 2026.
Second.
On the motion, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so moved. Yeah, we're gonna stay here and go in an organizational meeting, which is an executive meeting, only us discuss and talk. And with that, I'd like to make a motion for our clerk, Mrs. Griffin, to be our clerk for the next year.
Second.
On the motion, is there any other nominees for clerk? First call, second call, third call closed. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. I'll turn, I'll do this one here. I'd like to nominate Mr. Chim as the vice chairman for the next year.
Second.
Seconded. On the motion, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Is there any other nominations for vice chair? Second call. Third call, call it closed. Congratulations. I'll turn the meeting over to my vice chair.
Yes, Mr. Chair, move to appoint Marty Akins as the chair of the zoning board of appeals for the next year.
Second.
You're in charge.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any opposed? No. Motion carries.
Motion carried. No more nominations. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate it. Ladies,
Thank you.
let's get into some business here. I want to read in, it's been happening now and then, and our clerk goes out of her way to make everything right for everybody and help you out, but it's getting to the point where they're coming in late. When we ask you to, you continue your meeting, you come in late, and you bring your forms in late, but they're in the week before. That don't work. They have to be in on time. She gives you a date and a time to get them in. If you don't get them in, you're gonna be moved, and I'm gonna move these first two because they weren't in on time. ZBA 25-323, and ZBA 64, I'm sorry, 2564. The applicants were late in getting the requested revisions to the zoning board office as required by date and time. Due to that fact, this petition will be continued to April 14th. For those two, if you're here for those two, they will be heard on the 14th. And I ask you again, please get your stuff on in time because it makes it tough for the clerk and she goes out of her way, but we can't get it, we can't read it. We shouldn't be reading it 2 days before a meeting or, it's just not fair to anyone. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Let's go on to new business. ZBA 2564, Anthony Patrick Foley for variance to construct a single, where am I? No, that's the wrong one. I'm sorry, new business. 26-5, Brian LaRoche for finding and special permit floodplain to construct a two-story addition on the existing structure on premise 187 Rhoda Street. The Mr. LaRoche, you're up. Name and address for the record.
Yep. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Brian LaRoche, 67 Mears Ave in Quincy. I'm here on behalf of the applicant, Jacob McQuinn.
Thank you. Can I put a hold on you right now? If anyone's going to testify today, could you please stand up? You have to take an oath if you're going to testify. Anyone in this room has to stand up and take an oath. If not, you will not speak. If you think you might speak, just take an oath. That way there, you might want to say something. There you go.
Okay, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in the matters now in hearing?
I do.
Thank you. You may be seated.
2, 4 people.
Thank you again. So again, Brian LaRoche, 67 Mears Ave, here on behalf of Jacob McQuinn for an application for special permit to construct within a flood zone. We're also asking for a finding for an extension of a non-conforming use. The picture here in the top left corner is the existing dwelling. It's on Rhoda Street, and it actually, the property bounds 3 streets, Camden and Pawsey, down below towards Rock Island Cove. The drawing that I have in the bottom is the city's GIS. You can see the shaded areas, the flood zone comes into the property. The property did receive a FEMA map amendment a number of years ago. So the existing dwelling is just outside of the flood zone. It actually skirts along the back of the property towards Camden Street. And then there's a portion of the flood zone that kind of comes up the driveway that you can see here in the photo as well. So we spent about a year, almost a year and a half, on an application to FEMA for a Clomar F, which is filling in a flood zone. And what we proposed in our application to FEMA is a cut and fill on site. So the material that we have towards the back of the property, we're able to maintain elevation 8, basically make it flat, and then use that fill to fill up front towards Rhoda Street. So we're actually improving the overall flood storage capacity of the site.
That's the patio in back, correct?
There is, and
No,
yeah,
okay.
so we're taking that out so that we can get the proper grading in over there as well. So I'll go over the grading plan in just a moment so you can see it. But the existing dwelling is a very modest 1-story house, and we're going to be putting a 2-story addition to the right as you look at it from Rhoda Street. And again, just another view of the map without the flood zone on it. Again, it's bound, the lot is bounding 3 streets. It's a very sizable lot. So it, actually, I'll look at the area here. I gotta zoom in, I can't read it. Yeah, 12,400 square feet. So it is sizable. So my client spent quite a bit of time when he first bought the property to renovate it, put in a new heating system, new electrical system, and got it removed from flood zone. And then when he came to me as growing family, he wanted to put an addition on. It was really important to us to keep it out of floodplain because if he put an addition on and any portion that is within flood, then all the work that he did would have to be undone. So he'd have to fill his basement, replace his heating system again, redo the electrical service, and that just was cost prohibitive and would have been burdensome. So it was definitely in our interest to spend the better part of a year and a half to go through this process with FEMA. So this plan, after a year and a half and 5 submissions to FEMA, is where we ended up. And the red area is the area that we're removing from flood zone. So essentially, it's similar to what it was. There was a portion, I'm going to go to the screen just to point out a little bit of what is different. So the flood zone originally did come in to this area here, and it did come into here. So we have to make up for the volume of area here and here, back here. So we did that by regrading, and you can see elevations 9, 10, 11, and 12. So basically making the area here at the back flat. And so we use that fill that we're removing to fill in this portion here. And that's how we're able to balance the site so we're not making it worse in terms of flooding to the adjoining neighborhood. I know the city engineer provided some comments today about this. It's a unique circumstance submitting the CLOM-RF. We learned a lot through the process, and I know some of the comments from the city engineer are pretty technical. So I will work to answer those at a high level, but we'll submit a formal report as requested before we go for building permit. So the addition is off to the right of the existing dwelling. We create like an entryway and then have a garage, two-car garage, and then living space above it. And then the driveway we're creating, driveway exists right now is two cars in tandem. Now we're going to have a 20-foot wide driveway for two cars side by side in the driveway, and then two cars in the garage itself. Let me just zoom out. So I'll show you a architectural floor plan overlaid on the site. So again, this is the 20-foot wide driveway that comes into the garage, a set of doors, walkway that comes into a covered porch, a little vestibule area, and then we have the staircase that goes up to the second floor, two-story addition. We're doing our best to minimize any work that we're doing in the existing dwelling because, as I mentioned, the house had already been renovated with new floors, new kitchen, the whole 9 yards, new windows. So we're trying to do our least amount of work. So we're really just expanding the back corner, which is a small bedroom, making it a little larger living room space. So we can take the smaller living room at the front and move that to the back, and then let the kitchen have sort of a kitchen dining area open plan towards the front. And then on this diagram, you'll see too, we have the driveway sloping towards the garage. We have a trench drain at the garage doors. The water's collected and it's infiltrated into the ground through a Caltex system to the side of the garage. And then, again, the natural gradation and flow of the site is heading to the rear towards Rock Island Cove. And so we're not interrupting any of the natural drainage flows on the property or doing anything that would cause water to flow onto neighbors. We'll be adding a retaining wall to the right edge of the property line to accommodate the grading change that we're doing. And then I'll just show you a couple of the actually, before I get to the elevations, the cut and fill calculations are provided on drawing C1. You can see the existing flood capacity of the site is improved by the proposed. We're actually reducing the cubic volume of fill on site with this development. Again, first floor plan, similar to what you just saw. No work to the basement, but I do want to point out the FEMA technical bulletin number 10 does have provisions for constructing an addition in floodplain, but there are requirements, and the city engineer duly noted that we have to provide an engineer's report to demonstrate that, and we will. The existing basement, if I could just show you on the screen here, this is the existing basement that's excavated. We're not changing that. This is still, there's a wall internal to the basement here. So the amount of fill that's here plus the fill in the back is how we're able to meet the technical bulletin number 10, which allows for structural fill to provide protection from flooding. You have to exceed 20 feet. I think from the top of my head, it's about 25 feet that we have. So we're exceeding that. And that's how we're able to do that. So there's nothing on the lower level excavation below the garage or below the stairs that's basement. We're not creating any new basement. It's existing. And the only thing we're doing in the front left corner is adding a bulkhead because now he's going to need a way to get into the basement. Okay. And then these are the cut sections through. Originally, when we first submitted to FEMA, we did have a small portion of basement, but any new construction, we weren't allowed to do that. So we took it out. That's why the drawings are clouded. That was based on FEMA's feedback to our initial submission. And then the second floor is 3 bedrooms with a common bath and then a master or primary suite bathroom. So it's a fairly modest addition. Since I first worked with them and going through this process, they've had another child. So They're a growing family, and this is a much-needed project for them. So they want this to be their forever home. And, you know, we think we've done a good job sort of respecting the existing house, creating the new entry, and something that's sort of respectful to the neighborhood, the Rhoda Street neighborhood. Nothing too large, but it does front the garage on Rhoda, which I think is appropriate for this site. And as I mentioned before, any other option for the design would have put them in flood, and that would have been really a financial hardship for them if we were to do that. So I think this is the right solution. The other option we had, if we couldn't get through FEMA, was to put it in the front left corner, but then that would have been a hard ask to you. So I think we've came up with the best solution here for this particular site and for this family's needs here. So let me just, we did receive,
Beautiful, beautiful lot down there.
it's tremendous, but it's in flood. So
I know,
with-
but it's still, it's even.
with the new building code and,
Pretty, yeah.
and DEP requirements now, it's getting a lot harder to build in flood zones. So it's, these projects are getting more difficult, but this is the conditional letter of map amendment that we received in January of this year. And then, as I mentioned, we did receive today the technical comments from city engineer, and I'll just briefly go through them. It's going to take a considerable amount of effort to give him a thoughtful response. So we'll work on that, and we'll make sure we submit that with our building permit application. We do have a licensed civil engineer who stamped the application to FEMA, and they will provide the engineering report confirming that the design is safe from flooding and complies with technical Bolden 10. And we will do soil profile on site and provide the soil classifications of the existing soil in the basement and any fill, which we don't intend importing any fill. We intend to use what's on site. And then we will provide details of the retaining wall as well. So all of these will be provided with our building permit application. And then, you know, we must demonstrate the land subject to coastal flooding that we will not cause wave reflection or refraction or increase flooding. I think I've covered the increased flooding already, but the refraction or reflection is an important item. And if you were to look at the original design, layout of the site and what we're proposing, we're not changing the geometry or how water flows within this neighborhood. The existing area that flooded was predominantly in the rear, with only a small section here, and this area here that sort of scalloped and then went around the neighbors. So what we're doing is really not changing anything about the way water flows or how it would refract in a storm. And, you know, you're looking at a larger view of the site. Oh, I don't thought I had it here anyhow. Let's do this at the last comment and then I'll turn it over. So the Rock Island Cove is the area in the lower level, and the way the storms come in this area, they come from the top right corner, the northeast exposure across. So, you know, wave action and flows are all going into the marsh towards the crusher in this neighborhood, not towards this property. So it's in a moderate, minimal wave action, not a moderate. So those are really all the primary comments. So I'll turn it over to the board if you have any questions for me.
Thank you, Mr. LaRoche. I'm telling you, he's got a beautiful lot down there. It's gonna be a beautiful home. I like the way you designed it. And I know they've been working on this for almost 2 years now. They talked about this a couple of years ago, doing this house. And, you know, I've talked to you a few times about it during the time, and we're finally here, and I'm glad for the people that own that property.
Mhm.
'Cause they wanna stay in Housnack, and they wanna live there, and I don't have any questions. You gave me the answers except for that letter you're gonna write, which I have here. I'll put in the record after that, when that comes. Any questions of the board members?
No questions.
I don't have any questions.
Thank you.
You can have a seat, Brian. Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor? First call? Second call? Third call closed. I have a letter here from the DPW, which Mr. LaRoche said he's gonna answer that one thing that I'm real curious about, so that gets done. If you might, Mr. Himmel?
187 Rhoda Street, KZBA 26-5. Number one, provide a report for licensed professional engineer that proposed addition on filled land is safe from flooding and design is following the requirements of Section 9 of NFIP. Technical bulletin number 10 is simplified approach is used. 2, provide details of the soil properties of the fill material. 3, provide details of retaining wall, including top and bottom elevations. 4, the applicant must demonstrate the filling of the LSCSF would not cause wave refraction, or increase flooding on adjacent properties or public ways, and should ensure that no other resource areas will be impacted. 5, the proposed fill may increase both volume and velocity of floodwater onto adjacent properties. The increased volume, velocity of water will cause additional erosion, flooding to abutters. Provide a narrative describing existing and proposed draining conditions and the measures proposed to mitigate adverse impacts to the adjacent properties. Number 6, discuss how to control the groundwater during construction. Provide details of the dewatering process on the site, if any, for the excavation.
I could call a public hearing closed. Is there anyone opposed or undecided? Opposed or undecided, second call? Third call? Call it closed. I'll be voting in favor.
I'm in favor as well. I think it's a good project. The bedrooms are a good size. FEMA's going to oversee this as well as building, so I'm comfortable with it.
Yeah, in favor, especially the amount of work and permission that they've got to place this property where it is. It's a great lot, and I think it's a nice addition to the neighborhood.
I'll be voting in favor.
I'm in favor also with the federal oversight there.
Yeah.
Sure, the hoops that they had to jump through.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, I wouldn't want to see Brian's bill, I know. Could I have a motion, please?
ZBA 26-5, Ward 1, Brian LaRoche for a finding and special permit FPOD to construct a 2-story addition onto the existing structure on the premises numbered 187 Rhoda Street, Quincy, Mass. I move to allow the petition.
Second.
On the motion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you, Brian. Thanks for the good work you do.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Further into tonight's agenda, Ms. Barry is staying in, correct? Okay. ZBA 26-7. Han Lu for a variance and finding to convert the existing single-family dwelling to a 2-family dwelling, enclose the farmer's porch, creating entrance for both units on the premise number 38 Walker Street. Is the applicant representative here?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Yongzhen Liu.
My name is Yang Meiling. We are a couple, so I will present our house. So this, so
All right,
for,
if you could speak into the mic, everyone, please,
okay.
no talking until, if you want to talk, go outside. Make sure your phones are on vibrate too, please. Go ahead, continue.
okay, so we propose to do an internal conversion from single family to 2-family dwelling, but we don't change much. We mostly is it for internal. What we need to do is we want to enclose the front porch with existing porch. One of the reason also for practical, because in order to have the both entrance door, so with enclosed porch, it also create a buffer zone to go in. And yeah, so also
That's all gonna be brand new, though. I mean, you're ripping that deck down. It's all rotted, the whole hood there's all rot, it's all water. Water pours out of there when it
Yeah, yeah.
rains. It's like, you have a lot of work in that home.
huh?
You have a lot of work to do in that
Oh
home.
yes.
I mean, you know, as far as even mold upstairs and stuff like that. I talked to a few of the neighbors there and told me it's in rough shape inside. Even though the best thing in that house is the floors, he said they're brand new. But the rest of the house is really bad.
Yeah, it's
You see the water damage everywhere there. So I know you've had it looked at, and you're in for a few bucks for that, to fix that place. It's bad, real bad. Are you gonna gut it? Are you gonna gut the inside of that, the walls?
the inside to.
You're gonna take the walls down inside?
Yes.
Oh, God bless you. Okay, continue.
So also we will try to use all the similar material as existing for the porch, so to make it more cohesive, like kind of as a unity for the house. And then also, because it's going to be 2 units, so we will to add a new driveway on the left side of the house for the 2 parking space. And then so to ensure no impact on the local street parking. Yeah. Yeah, basically that's it.
Speak up.
Basically, that's all. But we,
All right, I have a question, like, it has to be black mold in that house, like, do we go in and check when they're ripping stuff apart? Does anyone check for that?
Really say, no,
Yeah. Because it, and even in your driveway, I think the driveway there, what do you got, a 10-foot driveway there, is that what it is? I read it earlier, where am I, right here somewhere?
yeah, existing is about 10.8.
Huh?
Existing is about 10.8 feet driveway, yes.
Yeah, well, I was looking somewhere around 9 feet or something, 9 feet. It's just, you're taking up your neighbor's whole thing that he lived with for 40 years. He lived and he took care of that property. The neighbor on your left. He took care of that whole property. He did a lot of work for that guy. And I'm gonna ask that gets checked for black mold because there's been so much rain and water in that house, in the walls, in the back. Also, you have out back, you have going into your basement. There's like a little part of the house that goes in your basement. It also goes up to the second floor, correct?
The basement, the
In the
other,
back of your house, you go in that door going to the cellar, you can't sneak up a set of stairs to go to the second floor, correct?
that will be 2 different entry. One is at the door go to the basement.
Right,
And
there's
the-
one there and then there's one
And then the
upstairs.
other one, yeah, there's a second
So,
stair.
I'm just saying, take a good look at it, because water was everywhere back there. It's just, it's been sitting a long time, and no one did nothing to that house. for
I
years.
see.
You see the condition of it.
Yeah, it's
I
a,
mean, it's deplorable, really.
yeah, if there's a more, we'll take care of that in order to add the new wall in it. Yeah,
But I'm gonna ask that get checked for mold.
Okay.
So no one's living in that house and you cover up a wall, it's got all black mold. It has water damage. The whole back of that house is bad water damage. The garage, you're ripping the garage down, correct? You're taking that out?
garage,
The garage we're gonna be to fix it.
Fix it, it's falling over. It's crooked,
We try, if not, we cannot take it
tear
down.
down.
huh?
We try to fix it, if not, we can take it down.
Good luck.
Thank you.
It's gonna cost you more to fix it than put a new one up, but that's your money. There's a few things. I want that driveway to be a little small if I could. That's my pet peeve. Any mold back there that could be in that home, which I believe there would be by now. I just want to check before you get a final permit in the house to build.
Okay.
Any questions?
Question, how long have you owned the property?
About 4 months.
4 months?
Yeah, because right now we try to wait for this hearing. And
Yeah,
then
I
to-
saw you took out some brush, you went around,
Yeah.
took the lattice out, the garage is falling down, the backyard's a total mess. You got a lot of work.
Yeah, we do.
All right, no other questions at this time.
You seriously gonna try to fix that garage?
I know,
I mean, it's a mess.
it's falling over,
Yeah.
it's falling over, it costs them more to fix it than it would be to just rip it down, and put a new garage up.
That's my only question. Thank you.
Why would you need a full bathroom in the basement next to your?
Oh,
family?
that's what I want, I had my thing, take the bathroom out, yes. Take the tub out of there.
Oh, you say 4 bathroom on the basement?
Showing
Yeah.
a full bathroom in
Yeah.
the basement, I would not be in favor of a full bathroom in your basement.
Take the shower.
The shower and the tub should go. I
Um,
would only be in favor of a half bathroom in your lower level.
Because it's got an exit right there, it's got its own exit, that could be a single rental.
这个厕所
That's exactly what I said, I had it written down in my notes, I forgot it, thank you, Ms. Moore.
Okay, yeah, we can do so. If,
It's a half bath you can put down there.
Half bath,
That's what they're saying.
okay.
So Brian,
I have to say, I'm disappointed that you were coming to us and I went by there and there's garbage in the backyard. It's hanging everywhere.
Bad.
You know, you're coming in asking us for something and the neighbors have been exposed to not having that house cleaned up. I think it's unsightly back there. There were trash bags hanging off that back porch and,
Yep.
you know, no matter what effort you made to clean it up, today was trash day up there. That stuff should have come out and been put on the side.
Oh, okay.
I have a hard time believing that those conditions are not gonna be cleaned up as long as it takes them to get ready. I'd like to see it cleaned up immediately,
Before they get a permit.
if not sooner.
Right. And I will give them the fact that it has been horrible winter. They had this winter and she just bought it 4 months ago, so. But you're right, it should have been cleaned up before you came here. Made an impression on us. We will have that in the. Boss man will take care of that, right?
Good?
Any other questions?
No, I'm good.
All set, you can have a seat.
Okay,
Is there
thank
anyone here that would like to speak in favor? First call, second call, third call up out of the hearing calls. I got a letter here from the DPW. We have reviewed the above referenced case and have no comments. Is there anyone opposed or undecided? Please step forward, state your name and address for the record.
Elizabeth Centeo, 30.
No, up here, you have to do it up here to get in the microphone. We want you on TV.
Hi, good evening. Elizabeth Centeo, homeowner of 30 Walker Street for over 22 years at this point. With
You're
all,
right to the right of them?
yeah, like Tudor. So, with all due respect, I know, you know, the homeowners were elderly, didn't have the means to take care of it. So with all due respect, we know there's gonna be a lot of work in the property. But for us as homeowners, considering all the significant developments, and particularly that end of Quincy, just down the street, for example, like the Abbey, we've been definitely noticing just the sheer number of development, things like the long day work.
No.
Infrastructure has not kind of met up with all the development. So for example, we all due respect, we know a significant amount of work, but keep it as a single-family home as it was built in 1900. We know there's a significant amount of work. Myself and the other neighbor to admittedly did as kind of even some of the outside stuff as much as possible. But things that need to get consideration with all the development, this water pressure has significantly diminished to the point it's almost non-existent because we're competing with all the other developments and things like that wasn't taken into consideration. Things like the electric, because you're pulling from existing structures with all the new developments, that's mean more people, more electricity is being pulled, there's more blackouts than ever before. And things like that. So we understand they, you know, put a driveway and all of that, but there's already other multifamily homes on Walker Street that's just kind of compounding to the number of people on that street. And things like I've been there for 22 years, like I said, Department of Public Works has never fixed that street. We got some minimal sidewalk work, but that's just gonna add more cars, more people. And considering to the right of us, there's a house that we feel is kind of used for like Airbnb purposes. So we just really want to take consideration that the people who are currently there who are homeowners, we are struggling with the infrastructure in terms of the utilities that have not met up to par with the significant amount of development on Quincy Shore and particularly on Hancock Street with like developments of the Abbey. But I'll be respect, put the work in, but maintain it as a single family home.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you ever call the DPW or anything about your water pressure? You ever talk to them and say this is crazy?
No, but we know, like, talking to other neighbors, it's been an issue, and it's been an issue with all of the development, especially the development down the street.
I mean, I can see development being cut off and then turned on because they have to connect something, but.
But it's been ongoing, it's like, it's pretty much
What's
like,
your water pressure like?
there's none, like, just, there's like really sometimes minimum water coming out of the pipes, and it's been diminishing as the more development has been coming aboard. Because now there's been some developments on Quincy Shore as well. And even things like all the developments, just the sheer size and volume, things like you walk down Hancock Street, there's no things like sunlight because it's like the buildings are so tall and take up so much space. Things like that is like pretty much non-existent if you walk in certain parts of Hancock Street. Now you add in like an existing single-family home and add in more to it. Just the quality of life. We want to make sure it's preserved. We understand it's Quincy. You know, it's with a T, you have some regulations in terms of the state, in terms of adding affordable housing, but it needs to be a balance because some of this housing is not technically
I hear
affordable.
you there, but as we're putting in brand new pipes throughout the city, everyone's got all new sewer lines, water lines. I don't see why you should have a problem.
Just not, and I know there's some work on the other end of Newbury, and we see some work down in Montclair, but there hasn't been any work in terms of where Walker Street is
Getting to the
located.
water.
Across the way in Billings, they got beautiful, you know, sidewalks and streets repaved and plumbing over there, but not in all parts of the north side.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And I forgot to, this is the director, Mr. Conlon, and I apologize for not introducing you earlier. But you could call anywhere down there and talk to whoever you want and just tell them all the time, you don't have water, that's crazy, that's like bizarre, you know? The water today ain't cheap, you're right, it's crazy, and then you don't have it? Anyone else, sir? Well, name and address for the record?
Robert Bill, 10 Clive Street. I've lived there 38 years. And I have a different problem. As was mentioned, there are a number of houses in that area that are multi-family houses, some converted not that long ago. And it creates a tremendous problem with parking and the number of cars. My street, Clive Street, is often difficult to get up. Walker Street is similar when cars are on both sides. And this winter, with being on one side and the parking is just a nightmare. And I don't see the reason to add an additional multifamily house. I will say that recently I heard Mayor Koch say that he was interested in maintaining the single-family characteristic of Quincy. And I don't see how this helps. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Second call? Third call? Counsel? No?
The Ward 6 council would like that read into the record.
You could read that into the record, please. It's on the Ward 6 Council.
The pink part, Kathleen?
The top, yes.
Good morning, Mr. Liu. It's a pleasure speaking with you this morning. I'm unable to attend tonight's meeting. I've reviewed your plans. I've not received any communication from abutters. The design is thoughtful and parking has been added, which I appreciate. Ms. Griffin, could you kindly record my support? Keep me posted on the outcome tonight. Deborah Riley, Quincy City Councilor, City of Quincy. Thank you for reaching out. Parking is a big concern in Quincy. I'm glad to hear you're planning to add parking. I look forward to seeing your plans for the property. Deborah Riley, Quincy City Council, City of Quincy. Phone number is included.
Could I speak to the applicant, please? Please come up. How many bedrooms in each unit do you have here?
So right now, the first unit will be 2 bedroom. And then the second,
That's the basement and first floor, or just the first floor?
only first floor has the
What are you doing
bedroom.
with the basement?
Basement will be more like family room or playroom
For who?
for family, for unit 1.
For you, that's what I said. So
Oh,
the
for unit-
basement and first floor are one unit?
Yes.
Correct, that's right, go ahead. So you got
Sorry.
a family room
And then
down there.
the,
You have 2 bedrooms on the first floor.
yes.
Second floor,
Second floor have a 2 bedroom, and then the attic has a 1 bedroom. So second floor and attic be unit 2.
3 bedrooms.
Yes,
You
3
have
bedroom.
5 bedrooms in there, you're putting.
Yes.
And an office there? In the basement? That's why that full bathroom's now in there.
It's just family room, I think.
Yeah.
There's an office in the second floor unit.
Yeah.
Bedrooms, 4 bedrooms and an office.
So you got 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms, that's what you're saying, correct?
Yes.
Four bedrooms.
Or
That's the old one?
the existing has a 4
Yeah,
bedroom.
that's the existing, the proposed is,
The proposed second floor has 2 bedrooms and an office.
well, they got a bedroom upstairs too, right?
Correct. So 3 bedrooms plus an office in
Yeah.
unit 2.
Yeah, it's a
So
little,
convert 2 of the bedrooms to.
little much.
Dining room. I see.
Why do you have an office in an apartment?
Because this one is existing space. It's
Yeah,
too
I
small
know.
to.
Why are you having an office though? Why don't you just take down a wall and make a bigger bedroom for somebody?
You said this one,
That's just room enough for another
because this
bed.
one, this one has the window like that. So it's like, if we take it out, the size of the bedroom, because maybe we present like the, like square. So if we, I mean, we can take it, but it will be, the size will be like too many angle.
Yeah.
Too
Well,
many.
I like two bedrooms. You got, that's 4 bedrooms. That's what you should have when you're renting out places, not 5 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, 5. That property can't handle 5 bedrooms. There's no place to park. You're gonna have 2 on each side, correct?
Parking,
Right.
yes.
And if you got 3 bedrooms, you got 3 cars. That's the way I look at it. So, I don't know, I just think it's a little much. You know, turn a single-family house into 5 bedrooms. There's a way they can make that with a couple bedrooms each, make a nice place, do a little more work inside, get a better set of plans, and have 2 bedrooms in each place. You know, you're gonna tar the whole front of the house as it is. You're gonna tar that side and the left. That driveway goes all the way back to the garage in the back. It's all tarred, so. That's the way I feel.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that too many bedrooms for the size of the house. And the tandem parking doesn't really help. It's
No,
not,
don't, you're right.
the tandems, both the sides of
You
tandem.
know, like, they're saying you can put 4 cars there. People say, yeah, you can. They're gonna use it? Of course not. They're gonna use the street. You might use 2 there.
Yeah. they'll
You know,
use-
they'll say, move your car at 5, because I gotta get up 4 in the morning, but even then, wintertime's gonna be tough, you got too many bedrooms. I think we could shrink that down,
I
2
think-
bedrooms each unit.
The office on the second floor should really be part of that dining room, family room. There's no living or family room in this,
Right.
for the second unit.
Right.
So,
They don't wanna do the work on the inside, I guess, moving walls, but maybe it's time for that. Of
Mr.
Well, you know, as it stands, that office is gonna end up as a bedroom.
course it is.
And I don't see how you're gonna rehab this place without knocking the walls down, without gutting it out. I just can't see it happening.
It's so bad.
It's too much. You don't have the parking, and I wouldn't be in favor of the plan as presented.
I agree with my fellow board members. I would be in favor of 4 bedrooms total to go with 4 parking spaces. We know, as a practical matter, people do not like tandem parking spaces. So 2 driveways really equates to almost, oftentimes, only 2 cars will be parked in the 2 parking. So if you were looking at your existing plans, I wouldn't be, maybe on the second floor where you have an office, turn that into your bedroom and remove the bedroom and full bath in the 3rd floor is one of my ideas. In general, I would only be in favor of
2 bedroom.
4 total bedrooms, no offices, and no full bathrooms in the basement. Because as I read this plan, I read more like 6 bedrooms.
Oh, plus another, it almost looks like another rental.
Exactly.
Go right in, right out, right. So, Brian,
I'm of the same opinion. I don't understand how, if they don't know what kind of shape the walls are,
right, how are they gonna do it?
that you're counting on building them.
Right.
And you're gonna build against walls that you don't know what they contain.
What's inside?
If they're a mess and they have to come down, maybe it'd be better to look at a whole floor plan for a complete redevelopment of the whole thing. This seems to me to be just a wild guess.
Oh, you just cover sheet rock, it ain't gonna help.
Right, but it still seems like a guess.
Yeah.
If they don't know what's in there, they don't know if there's mold, they don't know if
Right.
the wood is rotted.
Right.
They don't know where the water is.
Water was pouring into the
I,
place,
I
right?
think it's a tough sell to me.
Yeah. So first of all, you're gonna have to have it tested
Right.
for mold in that house, and if there is some, they're gonna have to do that and rip down walls, whatever they're gonna do to get that done. Can't
And
rip
just-
it out like
And
that.
just the condition of the building itself and the property itself, it's been neglected.
Years.
And being neglected for, I don't know how long it was vacant, but it's probably started when the people were still living in there.
Oh, it did, because
know?
the guy's a real older guy, and then I guess he had a stroke, and the neighbor was helping him. I went down there and was talking to a few people. And the neighborhood tried to help the guy, but, when it got too big, he goes, I can't fix your porch, I can't fix your windows, water's pouring in the back. He says, I put a top over it and nailed it up, so save some of the water coming in his house, but
I don't know if we have the authority to say to them, no, you can't build it because it's moldy or it's rotten.
no, I'm just
I would-
saying,
I would
I think we
prefer-
can put it in there that I want to test on that property and make sure, because they're gonna rent it out, that's why. And they should be have a condition to say there's no mold in that house.
Chairman?
Yep.
We can require the health department to do an inspection before they revisit us.
Right. You can do that. So we're looking at 4 bedrooms total, each unit, 2 bedrooms. And we'll give you 4 weeks to come back. And I'll talk to the director afterwards to see if we can meet with you and someone down there to take a look at that property.
Okay.
Is that good, 4 weeks? That gives you 2 weeks so you get the paper, when you need the papers in by?
May, the dates are May 12th and May 26th.
May 12th would be, when do they need them in by May 12th?
If they choose May 12th, the paperwork has to be in no later than April 23rd.
Okay, thank you.
Can you get that paperwork all done in her office by April 23rd?
Okay.
Redo the inside on your plans. You're not doing no work there, just get your plans ready. And then I'll talk to the director about someone going over there and checking that house.
Okay,
I will send you a communication letting you know exactly when I need the revisions in, okay?
okay. Thank you, thank
Thank
you
you.
for your time.
Please clean the trash out of there.
Okay.
Please.
So, yeah, thank you.
May 12th.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, ZBA 26-7, Ward 6, Young Jin Liu for a variance and finding to convert the existing single-family dwelling to a two-family dwelling and enclose the front farmer's porch, creating entrances to both units on the premises number 38 Walker Street, Quincy, Mass. Move to continue the matter to May 12, 2026 at 6:00 PM.
Second.
On the motion? Seeing anyone? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. April 23rd, that'll be done for you. Okay. Frankel's in,
Stay for the rest of the meeting. You can go.
Miss Barry is out, are you out? Or-
I'll go.
Charlie.
Charlie's out. Charlie's out. Charlie, have a good night.
Like being thrown up?
Oh, no, again?
Yep, yep.
I've been tossed out there.
I've been tossed out a better place than this.
I'm going.
I got my nails done and everything. It really looks good.
Further on to tonight's agenda. CBA 26-8, Elizabeth Wong for variance to subdivide the parcel and erect a 3-story duplex structure on the newly formed parcel, the premises number 115 Town Hill Street. Is the applicant a representative here? Counselor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If I could just wait for this to
Do we have to do the screen thing?
It's coming up, I believe.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. For the record, my name is Edward Fleming. I'm here on behalf of the applicant, Elizabeth Wong, and I'm also joined by Victoria Wong and the Wong family, as well as Chi Man from Hardy Man, who is our engineer, who will talk about the engineering-related matters, and Mark Sullivan from Chu Architects, who who will talk about the architectural aspects. This is, Elizabeth Wong has entered into an agreement to acquire the property at 115 Town Hill Street in West Quincy. And the property is an 11,950 square foot parcel of land, which consists right now of a small, single-family home and driveway and small garage that's located very much on the left side of the property, and you'll see this in more detail when Chi walks through the plans. The remaining area on the right side of the property is essentially undeveloped. It's a big open yard. The property, the topography of the site drops off dramatically from Town Hill Street down towards the back, where it drops off precipitously to West Street, which is down below it in the back. So there's a significant change in topography of the site that creates the conditions that we're working with tonight. As I indicated, the property is located in the Residence B zoning district, and the Residence B zoning district allows for multifamily use of this property and a lot of the properties throughout the whole neighborhood. And 3 units are actually allowed on this site by right. I spoke with Elizabeth about, her consideration about taking down the single-family house and essentially building a brand-new 3-family house. And she thought that there was real value in maintaining the single-family home. And so after consideration, she decided to move forward with this proposal tonight, which will require the relief of this board. So what Elizabeth is seeking to do is to subdivide the existing parcel, 11,950 square foot parcel, into 2 parcels, which we've identified as Parcel A and Parcel B. Parcel A will be the lot on which the single-family house and garage will sit, and that will be a 5,000 square foot parcel. And the secondary parcels, Parcel B, to the right of the site, which will be a 6,950 square foot parcel, which actually complies with the zoning ordinance at 6,950. The proposal is then to retain the single family home, to actually renovate that existing single family home and to really improve that property, and then to construct a new duplex style home on Parcel B. The new duplex, which Mark will go over in more detail, will be 3 stories in height, which is allowed in the Residence B zoning district. It will provide for 2-car garage on the lower level, on the entry level, and then living area above, which is standard living area, including a living area, dining room, and office, and then on the second floor, and then 3 bedrooms on the 3rd level. The foundation, which both Chi and Mark will talk about, has been designed in a fashion that will actually be able to sit on top of the existing granite outcroppings. Although the outcroppings on the site, which are towards the back of the property, will be chipped down to flatten them out, the foundation can then sit on top of that, and she can talk about that in more detail in a moment. We had an opportunity to have a neighborhood meeting with Councilor Virginia Ryan, and one of the comments and questions was to also provide a landscaping plan. So I've forwarded that to Kathleen. I know Kathleen has uploaded that. We had a professional landscape architect design a landscape plan that provides a little bit more professional landscaping of the site, which includes some plantings out front near the street level, trees of some sort out in the front. And the other thing that she will talk about, and I know our neighbor Jim is here tonight, who lives in the back on West Street and who raised questions and concerns about the existing conditions. Right now, the existing conditions are that sometimes pieces of stone and other materials actually roll from the site on Town Hill and they come down onto his property. And part of the reason for that is that there's no real retaining wall that retains a lot of the granite outcroppings. So Chi's going to talk about that and how we're going to actually shore up that area so that Jim doesn't have to deal with and worry about stone falling from this site onto his property. And And I'm hopeful that he's gonna see conditions improve on his site because of it. As I said, although 3 units are allowed by right on the 11,000 square foot parcel, Elizabeth thought retaining the home would be better suited. I mean, quite frankly, I think a single family home is going to be a rare commodity in the city to be able to, and something that will be more affordable. And she wants to retain that, fix it up, and really make it nice. And then construct the duplex. As a result of that, we're asking for a number of variances. And I did my best because Kathleen demanded it of me, which is good. I know, right? I try to identify very clearly, because I know Kathleen's doing a great job in maintaining the record so that when you vote, that's very, very clearly spelled out on the decisions. So there's 2 levels of relief. I'm going to talk about parcel A, which is the single-family house lot first. Because of the subdivision, we're creating a lot that's actually requires a minimum lot area variance, which 5,000 versus the 6,750 that's required in Residence B. We think the 5,000 square foot lot really services that home well. It still has a yard in the back. It has its garage for parking. It has a nice driveway to service that site as well. It also creates 50 feet of frontage, so we're asking for a variance for frontage, and we're asking for setback relief. And although the front and the rear setback exist today, and I identified that on my dimensional table, we are asking for side setback relief of 1.6 versus the 13, so that it allows for the secondary lot. On parcel B, we're asking for frontage relief because of the subdivision of the site. We're asking for setback relief for side and for rear. The rear setback is minimal, so it's 20 versus 25, whereas the side is 4.9 versus 13. And then we're asking for building height. The way height is evaluated in the city of Quincy is from average grade. So when we consider the topography that drops off dramatically from the site, it makes the building appear taller from the rear. And so when Mark does the average grade around the site, although the house will look very similar, 35 feet in height from the front, it's gonna appear or feel bigger because of the average grade, because the grade drops off. And then we're asking for front paving relief so that we can create a nice, healthy driveway that will provide access to the parking under the buildings and also provide 2 additional parking spaces. I'd like to point out to the board, and although you all probably drove by the site, you probably saw 44 Town Hill Street, which is down the street. 44 Town Hill, which is the opposite side of the street, is very similar in style. There's a large 3-family on that particular property. It's designed very similar to this property. It has a big driveway that was built out front that provides access to the garages. And that's a 3-unit as opposed to, unlike this one, which is a 2-unit. But it's a very similar style proposal. In fact, right next to that property, there's a condominium development that you drive into the center, and there's 2 2 large buildings that service that property as well with garages. The grounds that we have for this relief is really directly related to the topography of the site. As I said, it drops off dramatically from the site, and it causes a hardship that makes full compliance really difficult. So that's the relief that we're requesting. That's our presentation. What I'd like to do, as if I may, is submit 26 letters of support. The initial 7 or 8 letters were directly from the West Quincy neighborhood. They're a similar letter, the same letter. It was just circulated along with the proposal to the neighbors and the folks that live within the community, and a number of folks signed in support of that proposal. So with that, if I can turn it over to Chi, just kind of walk through the site plan, and then I'll have Mark. Is that easy? Is that too hard on the plans? Is that easy for you to do? Okay.
Good evening. For the record, my name is Chi-Man from Hardiman Design Group. In front of you is the aerial view of the properties. As you can see, parcel A and on the left-hand side of the picture with the existing house, and parcel B is on the vacant proposed parcel B is on the right side, on the vacant lot. And as Ed mentioned, the property, topography of the property is generally slope from downhill towards Center Street and also from front to back towards West Street. It's a dramatic drops in elevations.
How much of that drops off in the back, that's still your property, when it goes out over that hill?
Within our properties, that's probably about 15 foot
15 foot is in the drop zone?
within our property, and then it's further go down to the parking lots. So this is some picture of the existing site.
Who took the tree down, that beautiful, old 8-foot around tree? It was just cut down.
It's not tree removal, but you'll see ornaments, and now you have new plantings and trees as well.
Huh?
Oh, the owner just cut the tree down when? Was that cut down? Couple months ago.
Did you tell a city you were cutting down a 150-year-old tree?
I was aware that we would have to notify.
All right, we'll figure that out right afterwards, if you will, because that tree was just cut down. It's all brand new cut and it's freaking huge. That big tree there, I saw it right off.
So this just some site picture of the neighborhood. So this is the site plan. The one on the left-hand side is the existing condition showing the entire lot. And on the left-hand side is a subdivided lot into two parcel. You can see the curb cut. We have I believe it's a 11-foot curb cut right off Town Hill Street that can come into the properties to the front, surfacing the access to the two garage. The two-car garage is on each side of the building. This is a duplex building, and also at the near the street, we also have two visitor parking that are available for the homeowner or on their gas. And if there's visitor coming in, they also can temporarily park in front of the garage as well on their own side, so it won't be conflicting to the neighbors. And this is the site plan. So as far as the site design, we are going to be tapping on a single water connections to the city's main pipe, and that will split up into 2 units. That's typically what the water department requires to do. We position the driveway such that it won't be in conflict with the existing utility pole and the fire hydrants. We know the utility pole usually take like months or a year to.
You're gonna move the
relocate.
fire hydrants right in the
No,
middle?
we are positioned the driveway so we don't have to touch
What
neither
is it,
of them.
right in the corner? I mean, looks like it's in the middle of the house.
No, the fire hydrant is actually, I'll show you, it's on the other side of the driveway. The pole is on this side.
So the entrance, it's still in front of that house, correct?
The entrance, we keep it offset a
You
little
made
bit.
a small entrance so you wouldn't move the fire hydrant.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Thank you. So it is there, okay.
Yeah, it's,
You think I'm going crazy if I'm going to the fire hydrant right in the middle of this house?
no,
Okay.
so we
See what you
purposely
did, I see what you
position the driveway so we don't have to move neither of
did.
them.
You shrunk the beginning, right?
And for drainage purposes, we designed the building such that we have a 6 concrete galley system that's going to collect all the roof runoff and put into the infiltration on the ground. And the driveway and the patio in the back, that is all going to be porous pavement and porous pavers. So this site is very difficult for drainage design, we understand, so we create the porous pavement. We are going to have a reservoir course, crushed stone layer, about 8 inches or so. So with the rainwater, when it's rain, it's soaked right into the pavement and, store in the reservoir course and slowly discharge into the ground. So per the existing conditions, all the runout is running from the street towards the back of the properties with the big slope is, directly run down to the abutters behind us. So I think this design is
Most of it runs down to Town Hill right now, the way it sits. It's going right into Town Hill.
but because of the way the site slope.
Ledge, it goes back the
Yes.
other way, right? Okay.
And there is a area of the site that has probably about 2 to 4 feet of exposed ledge. The site grading such that the finished floor, this is slab on grade construction, the finished floor is basically pretty close to the existing grade. So we'll have to do some hammering. I don't believe we need to do any blasting at all. So you can see from on the site, the granite has some fractures, so I believe using a hydraulic hammer will be just, along the fracture, we can take out those, just maybe a foot below grade, and we can put the building right on top.
Only up about 2 feet, right?
Yeah. So as the building go back towards the back, the grade start dropping, so we also will be cleaning up the loose rock and create a patio, and we can put some rebar and put a cast-in-place concrete wall right on the backside to create a little patio for the residents. And that's also create, have the opportunity to secure the rock and prevent any, erosion down towards the neighbor. And we had the neighborhood meeting, we talked to the neighbor, we'll work with them with the finishes of the retaining wall and, try to make something, work with them to make something that can be happy with.
Thank you.
Mark can go over that.
Mark Sullivan from Chu and Company Architects, based here in Quincy. I'm just gonna scroll a little bit. More graphically speaking, Town Hill being on the bottom here. Again, each one of these units, townhouse style, I'll call it, a unit mirrored on each other from left to right. Both of them have a 2-car garage space, which I'll get to in a moment. They also do include those 2 guest parking spaces. The reason that we maneuvered the building where it is and the pavement area that you can see is so that additional parking spaces, although they may block just the garage door of that unit, could be accessed sort of in this space right here where the cursor is, if there were to be additional guests beyond the 3 parking spaces for each unit. As Ed had mentioned, we did want to take consideration of the landscaping. We don't want this to feel necessarily like it's a large parking lot right in the front. So we created a buffer zone of grass and plantings along the front, along with new sidewalk, not really sidewalk because there's not a sidewalk there, but street tree plantings on each corner that you can see the tree type visually here on each corner of the lot, along with some small plantings along the front here, and then some hydrangea plantings along the right side, sort of as a buffer into that wooded area off to the right. Taking a look at the floor plans, so kind of bounce around here, but first floor on the top left there, the 2-car garage, we are proposing sort of like a mudroom in the back area with an office space that could be utilized also potentially as a guest room, and that leads down to the patio space in the back. The second floor being an open plan concept with kitchen, living space, and then the top floor
It's a
being
half bath or a full bath
on which floor, sorry?
on the parking garage.
That is currently as shown as a full bath. And then the top floor housing the 3 bedrooms with 2 bathrooms. So these units end up being a little over 2,000 square feet total, 3 bedroom plus an office. Total. In terms of the design, a lot of the neighboring properties and the character of the neighborhood is fiber cement material, vinyl material. We're utilizing that, but trying to break it up a little. So we have fiber cement, different exposure sizes between the first and the second floor, a traditional gable dormer or gable roof with gable dormers along the front, and that's continued along the backside. The design itself, as I had mentioned, kind of relates to a building just down the street, but essentially mirrored on each other. So a center entry portico area and the two garage doors on either side of that, on the front side there. Also, as I mentioned, although we are requesting relief for the height, along Town Hill Road, this will appear as actually less than 35 feet, but because of the grading on the back, the actual height as defined in the zoning bylaws is over that 35 feet. This is just the rear where we have some steps down to that kind of small patio space for each unit. Again, the design is to incorporate a retaining wall that we're going to work with the neighbors in terms of the actual aesthetic of that retaining wall. And then these are just the two side elevations. They're mirror copies on each other, but you can start to see that grading off the back there. And that concludes our presentation. Be happy.
Can I just add that I know Ed mentioned parcel A, we are asking for relief of the side yard setback at 1.6 feet. I just want to point that out. The 1.6 feet setback is actually from the existing garage. From the actual building structure is about 17 feet to the proposed lot line.
Yeah, you know, you're giving someone a house of 1 foot setback. I wouldn't be in favor of this plan at all. You want to rip that building down and come back with 3, I'd be happy, but I know that plan there, I'm not voting for it at all. No way. No way turning someone at 1 foot. And they're gonna own that house with a 1 foot barrier to the big house beside them? No.
The
Not fair to
garage,
nobody.
because of the garage.
Doesn't do anything. It's just too close. It's, you know, you took 11,000 square feet and you're trying to put, never mind what you say. It's too big for the lot. There's just too many conditions here. Look at that. Look at that list that you need. Come on, Counselor. It's not fair to nobody. You know what I mean? Rip the house down, put 3 nice units there, make it a nice place. You're gonna have a smaller house in the middle, it's gonna look stupid. I'm out when it comes to that.
I was going to say,
Anything,
the
Mr.
only additional point I was going to make is
Yeah.
these are all going to be for sale. So,
I get it.
the thing about
I get it.
I think what's important in Quincy, and we know this because we see it all the time, is that there's not a lot of for sale opportunities for
There
people.
is, they last about 2 days.
But there's not a lot of opportunities for people to buy homes, and there's not a lot of people to buy townhouses, and this gives people both the option
But you
to
did,
purchase a
you're giving
townhouse.
someone a house with 1 foot between the next property. What's that?
It's
fair?
only affecting the garage, though, Mr. Chairman.
All right, whatever you say.
I hear your comment.
I just can't, I can't. It's just, it's not fair. There's too many wants here. There's like, you know, the total floor area, everything. It's you're taking another shortage here. You're making 2 completely, that first one is just so completely non-conforming, you're not even giving no one a chance. It's like, you know, you want to subdivide it and put a single-family home beside it, I got no problem with that. You only got 11,000 square feet. I can agree to that. You have 2 single-family homes.
Yeah.
This here is just greed to the buyer, and she's, right now, she don't even know it. She's just under agreement. So it's just greed you're putting up. You want to get that big 2 units there. No,
Well, we could do, as I said, we could do 3 by right.
do it. Rip
Okay,
it down.
all right.
That's what I'm saying.
All right,
Rip it
that's-
down.
that's why I
Put it up
spoke
there,
with
make it
Elizabeth
right.
about that
I just don't think
possibility.
that's fair to anyone to put
Okay.
them in a shoehorn.
Okay, I understand.
Anything. You're up, Mr. Chin.
Yeah, I agree. You're looking for 6 requests per parcel. And I think that's a lot to request. I think I'd rather see 3 there. I
3
think it'll
brand
look
new
better.
ones, yeah.
I think it'll look better. Get rid of the single family. I don't know what you're gonna do with that garage if you really need it. It's close to the back where everything's falling down anyway.
Right.
So if you extend that retaining wall across, that might be better for the gentleman sitting behind you, and the neighbors on the lower level there. But I think if you can come back with a 3 and not need 12 requests, 6 per.
Yeah, I don't think we'd have to come back at all.
Yeah, if you have it by right, then you don't need 12 requests.
Okay.
Himmel?
Yeah, that's an awful big ask. 6 and 6 on each parcel, so I would not be in favor. I would be in favor of a 4-bedroom side by side without the small unit gone, but not as it's presented.
When you come back, if you have to come back, the bedroom in the garage level is a bedroom, so please mark it as such. It's insulting when you call them offices with full baths. We all know that those are going to be used as bedrooms. So I would not be in favor of something with 5-foot setbacks, period, end of story. And if call it a bedroom if it's a bedroom, or an office with a half bath or no bath whatsoever.
Frankel?
Don't need to beat the dead horse.
Beat the dead horse.
I'm in the irrelevant seat. I love it. So,
What do you want to do, Counselor? Yeah, 1 minute.
that's the one.
Yes.
I'll talk to you in a minute, Counselor. You want to speak? Anyone in favor of this project, please come up.
Mr. Ward, Counselor.
I know, I'll get to you then. Anyone in favor want to speak? First call, second call, third call? You in favor back there? No? Oh. All right, call that part of the hearing closed. I got a letter here from the DPW I got to read in. Mr. Himmel, if you might read that in the letter from DPW.
115 Town Hill Street, case number ZBA 26-8. Number 1, existing condition plan has not been stamped by a professional land surveyor. Number 2, install survey monuments to delineate public right-of-way. The monument shall be set by a professional land surveyor. Record the subdivision plan with the Registry of Deeds prior to the application of building permit. 3, will blasting be used to remove the ledge for development? 4, proposed retaining wall exceeds 30 inches in height. A guardrail or a fence for fall protection is required. If the proposed retaining wall exceeds 4 feet in height, the wall should be designed and stamped by a Massachusetts registered structural engineer. Number 5, Town Hill Road is a one-way. Proper traffic signage should be installed at the exit. Upon completion of the project, as-built plans showing all utilities, building footprints need to be submitted along with a digital file.
Call that part of the hearing closed. Is there anyone opposed or on the side, ma'am, you can speak?
Counselor Ryan here.
Yep.
I had the community meeting on March 3rd, and I was actually on the fence because the proposal and the layout and the presentation, it's a nice renovation or complete build. But I'm concerned, very much so, because Town Hill Street used to be a quarry. Okay?
Yeah.
So that drop off is from all the digging out that they did of that quarry. That's the first problem. The second problem is 3 years ago, DPW tried to do some infrastructure work. And Riley Brothers was working on that infrastructure, and they had to stop because their equipment was getting ruined. There's still quarry underneath Town Hill Street. That's
Is what?
quarry. They're having such problems.
Granite.
Sorry. All right, so, concern also too from some of the residents there that the sidewalk would be eliminated, and there's a lot of kids that walk down that street to school. And I did not receive 27 letters from abutters, Ed.
No, they
Okay.
obtained
Okay.
that support the proposal.
Okay, so it would, they should have shared that with me.
I'm sorry, I just got something.
Okay, that's
I
okay.
can forward them to you.
I would appreciate that, yes. So there were a lot of concerns. I actually walked West Street, and there's just too much rock there, granite, and it's just not safe. To me, it's not safe. So that's why.
Thank you for your time, counsel. Is there anyone else opposed or undecided?
Good evening. My name is James Gavoni. I am at 10 West Street. I'm the guy at the bottom of the hill. I want to start by saying I would label myself more in the undecided category. At the community meeting, I met the homeowner and her family, very kind to me, very nice. Homeowner herself gave her personal cell phone to me if I needed anything, so that was very nice. Mr. Fleming, Mr. Sullivan, everything just very, very nice. I like the house. I think it's beautiful. I think it's going to improve Town Hill Street. My main concern is not it existing, it's the building process of it in the sense that it's kind of sort of being built at the top of a kind of a crumbling pile of granite, and I'm at the bottom of the crumbling pile of granite. So there's been chunks bigger than the size of this podium that have washed down over the years. I've been there about 9 years, and
In
I've
your
seen.
backyard?
Yes, sir. I think the property line is probably about 12, 13 feet up. So when stuff falls down, I'm not even sure if it's my rock or 115 Town Hills rock, but ultimately it didn't really matter so much because it's just, there was nothing to disturb it. So I think I'm just asking for, whenever this goes through, that the actual construction process, any sort of blasting, drilling, if you think about it, we're all kind of on the same big sheet of granite. Having a 126-year-old granite foundation myself that is, I'm not sure it'll last another 126 years, but just concerned about the vibrations just while it's being built. Once the property is built, no concerns. It's a beautiful house. Just looking for measuring twice.
Your houses, we can have them videograph the houses that are around.
Yeah, just asking to, during the construction process, measure twice, cut once, so. Thank you.
There you go, thanks. Anyone else? Opposed or undecided? Call that part of the hearing closed. Counsel, what do you want to do?
So we may ask for a continuance,
Sure.
so I can speak with my client in more
Sure.
detail, and we'll decide whether we come back with a revised proposal or we walk away
All
entirely.
right, May 14th, how's that? May
We got May 12th,
12th, May 12th. How's May 12th? Is that better or May 26th?
May 12th, please.
May 12th. Can I have a motion for 5/12, please? That good?
Yes, that's okay.
No, you got.
My son's graduating, but it's not.
No,
it's not right.
no.
It's not that, no, 12th's good.
Okay.
Okay, sure.
Sure. Yeah, I think so.
ZBA 26A Ward 4, Elizabeth Wong for a variance to subdivide the parcel and erect a three-story duplex structure on the newly formed parcel on the premises numbered 115 Town Hill Street, Quincy, Mass. I move to continue the matter to May 12, 2026 at 6:00 PM.
Second.
On the motion, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so moved. Motion adjourned.
Adjourned 7:23 PM.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, 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 aye. Thank you.